What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon, and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about Alice in Borderland Volume 1 by Haro Aso. I wasn't sure if I was going to review this book on this channel because the reason I got into Alice in Borderland is because of the Netflix show. My mom and I were looking for something to watch. I had heard that it was good. It had just gotten its season 2, so we thought we would try it out. And I am obsessed with it. It was so good. It's 2 seasons and it actually does come to a resolution. So it's not one of those where it's like, oh my God, is Netflix gonna finish it? What am I gonna do? And literally when we finished it, my mom looked at me and she said, we're never gonna find something this good ever again. So just the story itself was absolutely beautifully done. So I thought that I would check out the manga and see what was going on in the manga versus in the show. I also want to say off the bat, like, this is not for everybody. I had a couple of issues with the show, a lot of that being like the representation of women, just the way that they're talked about. There's some really weird sexual assault themes as well. Like, I fast forwarded through like some sections of it. There's one character in particular that overall he ended up being very interesting, but literally every time he was in the room with like the female protagonist, it was just really creepy and gross. So those themes I wasn't a fan of, and I knew I would probably face those in the manga, and you do pretty quickly. So Alice in Borderland, for those of you guys who have never heard of it, it is a Japanese series. It is about a boy named Arisu. He and his friends are in Tokyo. They're losers. They feel like they're useless. They can't do anything right. And while they're in Tokyo, they see these fireworks, and then suddenly they find themselves in a dystopian version of Tokyo. And in the manga, they wake up and they find themselves in this Tokyo that seems like it's like years and years and years in the future. It's completely overgrown. It's covered in dust. All of the food has gone bad, and there's no people around. So Arisu, like being a high schooler in the manga, like thinks that he got his wish. Like, he thinks that, okay, so I was a useless loser in my previous life, and now I can do whatever I want. I've found myself in a place where nobody's gonna hold things over me. And of course, that quickly changes when that night they find themselves participating in a game for life and death. That's one of the big things about Alice in Borderland. These characters find themselves in this weird land because they are like escaping something from their previous life. Every character you meet in Alice in Borderland is running from something or has something in their like regular life, in their reality, that they're not quite sure if they want to return to. And of course, there's that big question, like, where the heck are we? What is this place? Like, what is the Borderland? And these games that they're forced to participate in. And these games, if you survive, you get a visa, you get to live for the next couple of days. If you don't, you die. If you don't participate in a game when your visa runs out, you also die. What I really loved about this Volume 1 versus the show is that Volume 1 takes place through the boys finding themselves in Borderland. They take place in their first game where they meet a new character who she was okay in the show, but I really don't like her in the manga at all. And that's mostly just because she's a female character that isn't giving any time or development other than the fact that she has boobs, which is very annoying. But they go through that game, and then they go through their second game. And in their second game, we start to get introduced to this wider range of like what exactly is going on in this world. And ultimately, like ending after the second game, I do think I want to read the rest of the volumes. I wasn't sure how I was going to continue on because like right off the bat in this, they're like looking at porn. They're talking about like trying to look up girl skirts, and like I know the things that are coming, especially when we get like mixed up with like Usagi and like all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, I am still very captivated by the story that's being told here, and knowing where it's going, I'm just really interested to see where the manga is going to take us, like what's going to happen when we start getting introduced to characters like An and all of that. So I really did enjoy this. I think the art style wasn't really for me. It's just a little bit too crazy in my opinion. I wish there was a little bit more realism in it, especially with the character of Chota. He looks ridiculous. And then like our character of Sabuki, like she is just really nothing special in this as well. So I'm a little bit worried once I know like we get introduced to like at least 3 more female main characters. So I am interested to see where this is gonna go. I don't really know what I would rate this. I would say just straight up, like it's a 4-star because with a manga, with it being serialized, it's the same thing with comics, right? Like, there's not a ton happening so far, but this is, like, definitely piquing my interest. It's like, okay, what's gonna happen? I want to see where we're going. Would I have picked this up without watching the series on Netflix? Probably not. I don't think I would have, even though I'm really into the tropes. Like, it's very dystopian. It's very, like, you know, survival on top of that, because you are almost alone in this really weird version of Tokyo. But without having seen the show, I don't think I would have watched this, just because it also has those weird things that I mentioned before. So I think where I'm sitting at is like about a B-. I think it's really interesting, and I do want to continue reading on. And listen, if you are a super fan of this series, I am coming at it from an outsider's perspective. I haven't read a lot of manga in my past, like maybe just like 1 or 2 things here and there. And I am coming at it from, I really liked the Netflix show. So that might not sit well with everybody, but I am just so into this story and I really want to see more of it. So I'm excited to see where this journey is going to take us. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit the like button down below and don't forget to subscribe to Hot Books with me every week. That's everything I got for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.